Well, what a view, and I'm eager to share it with you as we stream live here at Lambton Woods Trail Park in Etobicoke. Super glad to company today. I appreciate your time on a Friday. If you're new to the program, we appreciate you looking in. This is all about discovering the many gems across the GTA, and this is episode 37 of Here and There. My name is Anwar and I'm your host. And you know, this pedestrian bridge that I'm on right now, this is over the Humber River, but it dates back to the early 1900s. Now, I should qualify that. It's more so the actual footings here that it rests on. The bridge itself is a little newer, but the footings, you know, these are the original footings that were a part of the old Guelph radial line, and that was the first electrical suburban rail line between Guelph and Toronto, which is really kind of cool. It was well ahead of its time. There were reportedly some 100 stops, and very few of them had shelters. But what a view! Look at this. So you have the river, you know, going through quite a bit of pickup of the stream there. And then you can look all the way up. And we're going to explore that today on the show. And I'm glad to have your company as we do so. It's really a beautiful day. Yes, a little chillier, but it is November, and we do have some sunshine. Many other areas have been dealing with some snow. So guys, just be careful. We've got some cyclists coming down this little bridge. So I'm going to hop over to the side, and we'll let them go through. Sorry, guys. All right. And one more cyclist coming through here. All right, so now we're going to quickly get off this. I know I might be getting a little interference on our microphones just because of all the electricity, so we're going to rapidly go through here. But thank you for looking in. You know, what's interesting here is that when we talk about that rail line, the actual Lambton car house was nearby, and that's where some of the rail cars would park and get repaired. And today it's just a wonderful access for pedestrians, for cyclists, to meander through. And I mean, it really is just a stunning park. Some people say this is one of the most beautiful parks in the city, and I think some of the views I'm going to show you today, you may agree. Yes, you can walk through. Of course you can walk through. You don't have to hold off for us. It's just $2 a person. That's reasonable. We're just streaming live here, sharing this beautiful park with people. So the Humber River, which you can see here, I mean, this is also a very special river because the Humber River is one of 40 in the country that are designated as a heritage river. And the main branch of the river flows just over 100 kilometers from its source at the Niagara Escarpment. But just beautiful stuff here. You can imagine, too, not only summer and fall beauty, but in wintertime. I'm not sure if this gets shoveled. I doubt it does. But I would imagine this would be also equally as stunning, you know, as you explore this area. So let's continue. I'll get you, Ricardo. You can loop around if you want, and we'll go forward here. And we have so many different things to talk about on the show. Of course, we'll do your full forecast. We've had some snow in parts of cottage country, some significant snow in some areas, plus a new AKQ, and our nod to nature. Our nod to nature. Hey, have you ever seen a seahorse give birth? So I'm excited to share the video. It is phenomenal. So we're going to do that as well on the show today. And you know what today is? Today, not only is it Friday, November the 19th, but it is officially World Toilet Day. What? You're thinking I'm just joking. It's nothing. This is huge. This is significant because there's even a World Toilet Summit, and we're talking United Nations sanctioned. And the serious side of it is, you know, there are almost 4 billion people on the planet that don't have access to managed sanitation. And of course, that's problematic because it means disease, sickness, and death. So that's sort of the behind the concept of World Toilet Day. And I thought it was really interesting because we don't, you know, we take it for granted. We don't think much about it, but public health really depends on sanitation. So that's sort of the seed and how it sort of began. But I thought, you know, we'd explore that a little bit. Firstly, I'm going to ask you, how many times do you think in a year that we go to the bathroom? Guys, shoot out a number. In the whole year. What do you? 1,000?
600.
600? I think you'd have an infection within 4 weeks. What is it?
366 times.
In a year? What?
Once a day.
Plus okay.
It's a good one.
It's 2,500 times.
What?
And it breaks down to about 7 times a day. And I think that's probably right. No? Judging by Ricardo, I'm going to have to hook you up with my doctor. We got some things we got to deal with if it's once a day. No wonder he's always doing the show like this. You know? Oh, man. But, yeah, World Toilet Day. And, you know, to some, the bathroom, the toilet is a coveted space. You know, I mean, maybe you bring your reading material. A lot of people use their phones. I won't get into that. But I wanted to show you some top-notch toilets here. And we're going to start off with a sparkly toilet. And if you want to sit on this particular commode, it'll cost you more than $90,000. Take a look at the picture here. This has Swarovski crystals all over the toilet. It's a really blinged up bathroom, that's for sure. And apparently you can choose more than 60 different colors of these crystals. Now, I don't know about you. I'm not much for really, you know, putting all the luxuries in the common bathroom. I could see maybe doing the ensuite, but for some people, they want each one to be luxurious. And so this might be an option for you, you know, the Swarovski one. The next one, this is really bizarre. It's the crystal clear toilet. So take a look at this one. And I gotta be honest, if I saw this, you know, at a friend's house, I don't think I would go. I mean, we're talking, well, this thing, you know, my crew hasn't seen it, but it is completely crystal clear, right? So you can go by if you want, or you can stay and watch. We just have, we actually have an audience out here today. This is all right. But this is the crystal clear toilet. I don't want to be the guy that obscures the view, if you know what I mean, with that particular toilet. But I bet you it's a plumber's dream. You know, if you had any issues, you'd say, well, there it is. That's your problem right there, right? Easy peasy, 185 bucks, please. And this next one I thought was cool. This is, we'll just call it the musical toilet, and it is a tuba toilet. So apparently it's fully functional, so they've refitted this instrument, this tuba, to work as a commode, as a toilet. So I thought it looked kind of cool. And you know, tubas are not only big, but they're heavy. They can weigh 30 to 50 pounds, which is interesting. So it's no wonder that the guy or girl who plays it always gets a chair. But that leads me into my AKQ. It has nothing to do with the toilet, more of the instrument. And can you play one? Can you play an instrument? And if you can, which one is it? So I'll ask my crew. Anna's joining us here. Any instruments? No instruments. Ricardo?
Yeah, no. I would say the recorder, but no.
What, the recorder that you did in school, like the flute?
Yeah.
You know what I never understood about that? So, well before COVID, we're talking decades ago, you would play that recorder and they would just do a little wipe of an alcohol swab, and then the next bunch of kids get to play it. How many kids' mouths touch the recorder in music class? Right, miss? Right? Sure. And I never understood that. But recorder, you want to say that, but almost no. Richard?
Chopsticks on the piano.
You're kidding me. Are you being serious?
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, I see. Okay. The one fingered each on both hands. Ah, I see. Well, you know what? I think that counts as long as you can carry a tune. I unfortunately don't know how to play any instruments, but I did in the last 2 years. I actually purchased a ukulele. And I was supposed to do some lessons, and then COVID hit, and we just haven't got to it. Maybe we might do an online thing. But one of my dreams is to be able to play at least that one song. And it's, oh my goodness, I forget the name of it because it's a mixture. Oh, it's going to bother me now, but it was a Hawaiian gentleman who would play it. Somewhere over the rainbow, and it was a combo. You know the one I'm talking about. The large, he was like a sumo wrestler, and he passed away. But I want to be able to play that song with my kids. So that's sort of for me, but I can't do it at this point. Let's say hello to some of you, though, who are joining us today. We do appreciate everybody. I'm going to scroll all the way back as we stream live here and there at Lambton Woods Trail Park. So Moraga's with us, Joanne Lynn, Nancy, Miranda saying good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. Yeah, absolutely. Linda's saying hello from Cortis. Also, Jesse is joining us. Donna from Thorold. And Alan is saying happy and good afternoon, everybody. And Doris is with us. Kathy says hello to me and everyone else from Burlington. And also, Mind's joining us, and you have the day off today. So it's wonderful to have you join us again live. We appreciate that. Shara's joining us. Laura says we should bring that ring rail line back off the bridge. Yeah, I think it would be kind of cool. Also, Tammy says hello and happy Friday. And Aisha also says good afternoon. Joyce is watching. Lori is saying hello. Mine says High Park in Bayview is also beautiful, the parks that are there. You're right. There's so many parks. And you know what? We're slowly starting to add them to our list as we continue to grow. Ron Carter is saying hello and good afternoon. Also, Karen says, I'm such a good person and smart too. Well, thank you. Was it the toilet talk that did that? I'm not sure. Cheryl is joining us. Hi from Haley. Also, Lois from Newtonville. And Lois says, I missed the first few minutes. Where are you? We are at Lambton Woods Trail Park in Etobicoke. James Garden, as we continue, by the way, is all the way down here. And that's another stellar park. But I think we'll wait until we get into spring and summer, because there's a lot of beauty in terms of the flowers. But I want to go over here. First of all, look at this scene here with all the leaves. I mean, this is why autumn is my favorite season. It is just breathtaking, even with the core of the leaves on the ground. In fact, that's part of it. Look at this. I love it. I absolutely love it. But you'll see here, if you come tour, there are a couple of frost or snow fences, I guess they're called. And they've been put up here because there's some restoration going on. But if we zoom in, this is really an interesting spot, because you can see here they've actually posted some signs. We'll go down here, Ricardo. Go down here and I'll show you, because this is 53 acres. And it takes viewers on our people and you viewers who are joining me today on a very cool visit. But what you'll see in and around parts of the area are these sensitive areas. And this is where the ephemerals are. And those are spring flowering plants that only last a brief time. They don't die per se, but they go dormant. And part of that are the trilliums. So in this little area, they're trying to regenerate it. And trilliums, of course, a stellar flower, or a provincial flower, and they can take 7 to 10 years to reach a flowering size. So what they've done, the city has started to close off some of the areas, understandably, so we can do some, restoration, regeneration in the forest. And there's some other developments too that I'm going to show you as we continue our path through here. But I have to point out there are a number of trails. So the river is down there where Ricardo was showing, and that trail that is paved is usually the driest one, because it is for the most part asphalt. You can certainly try some of the dirt trails, but I would recommend, if you come, you put on some boots, because it can get mucky in some spots. And the beauty, again, as we always like to highlight, with the asphalt, if you're in a wheelchair or a walker, it's quite accessible. I'm not sure in the winter, but at least it's paved here. So we're going to continue our journey as we stream live and soak up some of that sunshine. And also, Kathy says, World Toilet Day. Gee, I'm glad I didn't miss this. No, there you go, you see. And Laura says, my mind is in the toilet. For today it is, and I don't have a problem with that. Aisha says, it's International Men's Day today. No correlation to World Toilet Day. Bad timing. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Sorry, do you want me over here? Oh, I see. You wanted to flip around. Yeah. He was just giving me these cues. I'm like, are we playing charades? I'm not quite sure. What do you need here? Okay. All right. Narita says, glad to see you back. Very interesting about World Toilet Day. Linda says she can't stop giggling. And Laura says, how do you clean a blinged up toilet? I'm only the one who messes them up. I'm not the one who's cleaning it, so I can't answer that. Okay, so you mean I could have been using bling in the little gal's room all along, says Kathy? Well, that's up to you if that's what you want to do. Okay, there's quite a few people coming on, so just be careful as we continue here. Kathy says, does the Tuba Toilet actually play tunes? Now we're taking this totally off the rails, but there are many tunes that come out of your average bathroom, if you know what I mean. But I want to head over here. We're going to walk down this path. So again, this is the paved path by the river, but there are some other paths here, dirt paths. And let's go through here, and you'll see that it gets you more into the forest, which I think is kind of cool. Now, the big thing as you look around here, you'll see a variety of different types of trees. And this is, in fact, an environmentally significant area. It is part of the Carolinian Life Zone. We've highlighted that before. It's a fragile ecoregion stretching from Toronto to Windsor. It's a very unique habitat. And there are a number of unique things. Like, look at this tree here, Ricardo. Can I just get you to loop back up? Look at this here. I mean, these are some beautiful, beautiful, like this oak tree, I'm only estimating it's got to be at least 100 years old. And we know it's a red oak because if you look on the underside, especially with the sun, look over here, you'll see the red veins of the leaves. This might be better on this side here, Ricardo, with the sun. Okay, and that is, you know, one of the signatures of a red oak. You can see the red veins on the back side of the leaves. And in some cases, the oak trees, they will keep their leaves through the winter. And this is already still looking quite good, although of course it's gone in a dormant stage. But what a beautiful tree. Is that not something? And this is, you know, what I love when you go exploring in different parks, that you can see a whole bunch of different types of vegetation and trees. And that's the beauty as we stream live here and we're showing it too. So we're going to continue down this path here. And again, so you can see there's two different paths. So there's the paved one over to the right. The river's just down the hill. And then there's some of these other paths that take you into the forest. But remember, this is also part of a floodplain. So there are some bogs. So depending on which path you decide to take, you may actually get into some really mucky stuff. Generally speaking, they're all pretty good, but something I want you to be aware of if maybe you want to explore it this weekend. So we're going to continue our journey because I want to show you another absolutely stellar spot as we get on this path and a new bridge that was put in. But before we do that, I think we should get into the forecast. We'll let you know what's going on in terms of what you can expect. So we'll start off by letting you know that the weather is brought to you by the Big Blue Marble Podcast. Listen along to undeniable stories of our changing planet and the amazing people trying to save it. It's available now in your favorite podcast player or online at bigbluemarble.earth. Miranda says she plays the piano and the clarinet and wanting to learn to play a guitar. Well, good for you. You're a one-woman band, right? You can set it all up. Yes, and Laura was saying Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That's the song, one of my most favorite songs, and especially on a ukulele, so I'm going to try to do that. Cindy says Happy Friday, and Sharon says Tiptoe Through the Tulips. Judy says a piano still, an oboe, and a flute in school, and a xylophone when I was in a drum and majorette corps. Wow! We got some talented viewers. I'm very impressed. Also, Aisha says, crystal clear toilet, no thanks. No one wants to see that after you're done on it. Yes. Sharon says hello from Oakville, a beautiful day. And Madeline says, it's on my bucket list to learn piano. I already have the keyboard. Well, that's kind of cool. Kathy says, I love it. And okay, so Laura, you have sent out the YouTube clip. Don't go to that clip now during the show, but I appreciate you sharing it. And Connie says, I can play a child's xylophone. You know what? It's still an instrument. That counts, so good for you. And Lonnie says, I'm late, but nice location. Jean says, we miss you doing the weather. Well, that's why we're doing it right here. And Livia says, I'm in her hood. Which tree do you live at, Livia? We could use a tier of coffee, but that's good to know. I appreciate it. In fact, Marina says hi from Sarah J. and Marina from North York. Jane says hi from Oshawa. Beautiful location again. And also Giselle says a warm hello from a bit chilly Burlington. Well, that's for sure. Yes, Vicky says the trillium's the Ontario flower. You're absolutely right. Now, we're going to continue along this pathway, and you can see the bridge over there. But to get us there, I want to show you the HNTI in the sky because it really is stunning. And what's, you know, underneath that bridge is the coolest part. So let's take a look. Come on over as we take you up to the sky and you get an idea what it looks like because it really is quite something. And the beauty is, you know, we take our kids here. In fact, we were here just about a week ago. And what I love is there's so many different things to explore. And the fact that, you know, you've got the trees, you've got the river, but you've got this as well. And you can imagine in the springtime, you're going to get a lot of melt that sort of follows down this trench. And it's part of, you know, the balance of nature where the overflow will end up in the Humber River. But it really is spectacular. And that's a brand new bridge. And it was just put together and installed in the last, I want to say 8 or 9 weeks. There was another bridge prior to that, and it was falling apart, so they put a new one. So here we are. And you know, I want to ask you guys, I thought this was interesting. Take a look at that bridge, Ricardo. If you could show our friends the bridge at home, what do you think that costs? What would you think a bridge like that costs? Because I was really quite impressed with this. And by the way, the original bridge was about 25 meters, you know, closer down to the river, but it was about erosion, so they pulled it back. But the reports, if I got it correctly, this is about $300,000. And there were a lot of different companies that were bidding for the contract. Some were close to $1 million, but this one, about $300,000. And it just gives you a bit of an idea, you know, the costs that are associated when they're trying to make spaces available for the community to enjoy. And I think that we sort of take that for granted. You know, we want everything to be safe, we want to have access, but things like this have to be done. And you know, when there's fundraisers, like last night I was doing a fundraiser, that's why my voice is a little hoarse. It was for the Credit Valley Conservation Foundation. And, you know, Credit Valley Conservation, they do great work, one of the CAs in the province. And one of the things that they were trying to fund with the gala last night was the Credit Valley Trails. So they're trying to do a walking trail basically from the top of the Credit River down to Port Credit. So from the headwaters around the Orangeville area, winding all the way down to Port Credit in Lake Ontario. It's about 100 kilometers. They've secured and done about 30, and they're trying to continue to build. And how they do that is by acquiring some land. So it is now going to be, you know, sanctioned as natural green space. So I think it's important that we understand, you know, that there's such a great number of people that work hard at trying to secure green space, and there's a lot of funds that are involved for it. And this is an example right here to put this bridge in place. It's going to be safe and last for decades now again, and allows everybody to come in. So, I mean, I just thought this was a great spot, you know. You can sort of just find a spot. I know Ricardo's going to tell me I need to have the sun on my face. So is this okay? So we can just sit here. But look, I got it all streaming down here. And if you just want that quiet moment, you can hear the water. It's so awesome. And that's what the beauty is when you connect with nature. I thought it was great. So as we continue to connect with you, Laura says, the sun, I absolutely love it. Oh, by the way, John Shepard is joining us. Good to have you, John. I appreciate your company again today. And Victoria says, a nice sunny day for an adventure with my buddy Anwar. Well, I appreciate that. That's awesome. Joyce says, I can't play any instruments, but a beautiful walk today, and wishing everybody a great day. Now, I want to, as we get close to wrapping up, I want to share the nod to nature with you. And I thought this was really quite something, because we're celebrating the birthing season of one of the most unique fish on the planet. And seahorses are fish. They're unique, but they are fish. So when I saw this, I thought, you know what, I got to share it with you. So let's roll that video of our nod to nature. There are more than 40 different species of seahorses that are known right now. And if you take a look at this video, what is truly amazing is the process of birth, because I'm sure some of you are aware that it is all taken care of the guys, the males. The guys do the birthing. After their complex courting dance, female seahorses will place their eggs into the male's brood pouch, and after a number of weeks, it's the dad that experiences the contractions, and he starts to literally, like, look at this, expel the young. He shoots them out. Now, I don't want to say, oh, woe is me in terms of the dads, because I know women, of course, normally do it, and it's not easy. But I just thought it was really something. And they will expel as many as 1,000 fries, as they're called. And, you know, and that's what they're born. But less than 1% will survive. And that is a problem. And the big issue is really humans. We are killing them. And in some cases, it is for consumption, but there's also some believe some healing properties and things that they offer, like other animals. The perception is, of course, it's all wrong. So they are truly remarkable creatures, but they're on the brink of extinction. So they are certainly a worthy contender in our nod to nature, seahorses, and just to see the males when it's time for the birthing season. So listen, as we get set to wrap up, I want to just connect again, because My Mind says there was light snow today in Cookstown. Also, My Mind says yes, it was all lake effect. Kathy says, what a beautiful day and trail, Anwar. Thank you. We have a few centimeters of snow at Rosedale on Balsam Lake, so a few centimeters is not too bad. Connie says, heavy snow in short spurts this morning in Bradford. It did not last, though. They have some sunshine now. Yeah, that clearing trend, the bands are starting to collapse. And Donna says, where's my mittens? You know, I'm okay. It was just my hat and my ears. I'm okay. And Judy says, glad we went up to Halliburton to finally close up the cottage yesterday. Yeah, you just made that, didn't you? And Rick says, I played the trombone in high school. And Alan says, when do I predict the first major storm? I'll get back to you on next week's show on that, Alan. I will have to look at all the maps and see where we're at. Lonnie says, beautiful camera work. Ricardo, by the way. And Kathy says, yeah, I love that trickle of the creek, the rocks and the leaves. It looks absolutely beautiful. So, guys, please, if you appreciate what we're doing, support the show. The likes, the parade of hearts, follow the page and share it. That's how we continue to grow. And if you're watching the program on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you have questions, please let us know and we'll get back to you. I'm going to put my mic close to the stream here, and we're going to let that run for about 10 seconds or so as we wrap up the show. And I hope to have your company again next week. And where will I be? Well, as the saying goes, here and there. Have a great, safe weekend, everybody.